Hello everyone, and welcome to another WoW video. We have what looks like the beautiful Ian Hazakostas, and he looks like he's going to guide us through a huge journey of what's to come for World of Warcraft. We're not going to waste any time, we're going to get right into this.
Hey everybody, it has been an amazing month for World of Warcraft. Ever since WoW Classic launched on August 26th, we've seen millions of players around the world jump in to explore Azeroth as it stood before the Cataclysm. Whether you're revisiting old memories or experiencing it for the very first time, it's been humbling for the team to share in the community's passion and enthusiasm around this classic experience. We've seen players hit max level, we have seen Onyxia and Ragnaros fall, several Sulfuruses have been crafted around the world, we've even heard about a couple of epic BOEs ninja looted, shame on you, and many Devil Swords have fallen and donated their leather to fuel the server's economy, Devil Sword leather. We've also heard from many of you that you're ready for something new to sink your teeth into. And so, while we originally had this Phase 2 plan that was going to be Dire Maul Dungeon, World Bosses, and the Honor System for PvP, I'm happy to announce that we're going to break Dire Maul out separately and get it out there as soon as possible. In fact, just a couple of weeks from now, the week of October 15th, the Dire Maul Dungeon will go live worldwide in Classic.
A couple weeks? Today is the 7th, so yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, so not even a couple weeks. It'd be like a week and 1 day.
So get ready to craft those ogre suits, practice those tribute runs, and get your hands on that sweet loot from Dire Maul. Of course, we still have the Honor System and World Bosses just around the corner after that, and I'll share more detailed information of exactly when to expect that as soon as we have it. But we can't wait to see everybody jump into Dire Maul.
Kazakh.
It's also been an incredible couple of weeks in Battle for Azeroth. Just last week, we saw patch 825 go live, and players around the world got to experience the thrilling end to the war campaign, as Saurfang's long journey brought him to stand side by side with Anduin in front of the gates of Orgrimmar, facing down Sylvanas and her forces to bring this battle that has
Forces? You mean just Sylvanas?
To an end once and for all. But in the meantime, there are other threats that have been lurking in the shadows. Lest we forget our adventures in Nazjatar, and at the end of Eternal Palace when we faced down Queen Ashara herself
And unleashed Daddy N'Zoth
against the backdrop of an ancient prison built to contain one of the mightiest of all evils that Azeroth has ever known, the old god N'Zoth. And as Queen Ashara fell, with her last gasp, the final seal that contained N'Zoth was broken, and he was fully unleashed. And so what does that mean for us? Well, I'm excited to announce that the next major content update coming to World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth is Visions of N'Zoth.
Yes.
I will answer that question and so much more. For the first time...
So, I'm wondering if our little head doobly-doos that we got from N'Zoth, the eye, will kind of play a part in this, because I mean, I still have mine. I still haven't turned it in. You can turn it in for a toy, but I want to see if there's actually something you get, like one of the Sylvanas Loyalist things, where you get a special cutscene or something if you still have the freaking eye, like the actual buff or debuff from N'Zoth. The gift of N'Zoth is what it's called.
We're going to see an old god unleashed in their full might, in their dark fury. We have seen Cthulhu's Eye, we have seen Yogg-Saron locked away in a prison, we have heard of Ysarge, who perished long ago. But now for the first time we are contending with an old god that is fully free of all shackles, to roam Azeroth, to reach out with his tentacles and tendrils and plot and plan and undermine all that keeps us safe.
I will work
That
for
is the
Daddy
threat that we
N'Zoth.
face
No
in Visions of
issue
N'Zoth.
here.
Ny'alotha, the sleeping city, the dreaming city, as some have called it, is the domain of the Black Empire. It is this alternate world inhabited by the old gods and their minions. And it's not a distant location for us to travel to via a starship or a portal. It's in fact
Orgrimmar. Oh my god.
all around us, on
Wow.
the other side of this thin veil. And what N'Zoth is doing is tearing that veil down, bringing horrible nightmares and dark visions of a future in which the forces of the old god are ascendant into our world. And if we don't stop him, there will be nothing left of Azeroth.
I'm guessing it's a
to
raid?
defend. Because this has been a battle for Azeroth between the Alliance and Horde, but it's also always been a battle for the safety of Azeroth, for the future of Azeroth, that our heroes have been waging all along. And this now is coming to its conclusion. Now, Titan facilities across Azeroth are the key to containing, controlling, and understanding the power of N'Zoth. The Titans have always been our world's last bulwark against the assault of the Old Gods. And so, of course, those facilities are being assaulted by the minions of N'Zoth.
So I wonder if like the old the Maiden of Virtue or whoever, when you first talk to her, she talks about like old War and a bunch of old like different Titan facilities that, you know, are being corrupt or under attack or whatever. I wonder if we'll see one of these old because we know there might be one in the Emerald Dream. The one there's like a seal or something that Cenarius is standing on that might be leading to one. It's like oldies. I think it's like oldies or something. These nuts? No, I'm kidding. But hopefully it'll be one of these unknown
humanoid
facilities.
Allies, horrible insects, or the eldritch creatures of the Old Gods themselves. We're going to have to rally to their defense and actually venture through these rifts into the world that N'Zoth's minions inhabit, into an alternate reality that reflects the manifestation of all of N'Zoth's goals, to analyze it, understand the power of the Old Gods, and destroy these visions from within. Let me talk about what that actually means in practice in terms of gameplay. Now, the first sign of N'Zoth's power that we're going to witness firsthand are assaults by his minions on two key locations in Azeroth that are home to Titan facilities. Now, these Titan facilities are our world's last defense, our final bulwark against N'Zoth coming completely into our world and plunging it into madness. So when an assault is active, the zone will be overcome with powerful lieutenants of N'Zoth, enemies to defeat,
So it's going to be like the Naga invasions.
Puzzles to solve, and much more. Building out this content has drawn upon everything that we've learned in making assaults in Tides of Vengeance, as well as major zones like Mechagon and Nashtatar most recently. Now let's take a look at a couple of these locations. First off, Uldum, home to the Halls of Origination, a great Titan vault, is going to come under regular assault by the minions of N'Zoth. When an assault is active in the zone, players will rally to Uldum and battle across the zone against the Old Gods' minions. Now, another key location in Azeroth that's home to a major Titan facility is the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, back in Pandaria. Logushan Vaults is what I'm referring to, of course. Now, last time we saw the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, it had been blighted with dark Shah energy unleashed by Garrosh towards the end of Mists of Pandaria.
Thanks, Garrosh.
Now, the passage of time and the natural redemption that came at the end of that arc has finally healed those old wounds to the land.
Nice.
And the Veil stands fully restored to its original glory for all players to visit in this next content update.
Nice.
At least until it comes under attack by the minions of the Old God and is once again plunged into a new type of darkness. Don't worry, it's only going to look like this while N'Zoth is actively assaulting it. Otherwise, and in the long run, the original pristine Veil is here to stay. But you'll want to journey here, fight off the Old Gods' minions, unravel the mysteries behind them, and do everything you can to thwart this great threat that's facing Azeroth.
So what he's saying is that they've restored the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. It's going to be taken over by N'Zoth, but then once that he's defeated or the thing ends, it goes back to the way, the restored version. So hopefully they can do that with the rest of the world, maybe maybe start healing some of the stuff that Deathwing did, kind of maybe pushing things back together in the Barrens to at least make it the Barrens, not north and south. Maybe see some of the Emerald Dream disappearing in Southern Barrens since it's sprouted up. Maybe see Desolace going back to being more desolate. Who knows? Maybe this is something they're also testing just to see how it will work, to see if they can do stuff like that to restore the planet to how it used to be before the cataclysm.
Now, Visions of N'Zoth isn't just the name of this content update, it's also the name of its major new feature. By completing assaults, you'll be able to earn your way into the deepest recesses of N'Zoth's mind, and the reality that's seeking to manifest itself across Azeroth. There are these horrific visions, which are 1 to 5 player content centered around the capital cities of Orgrimmar and Stormwind, that show us an alternate reality of what might come to pass if we do not succeed. Here we see maps of Orgrimmar and Stormwind indicating the deepening corruption the farther into the cities we go. Now, when you first enter a horrific vision, I can virtually guarantee you're not going to make it very far.
Oh yeah.
Your mind will succumb to N'Zoth's relentless assault as your sanity slips away. You'll begin to experience effects, various detrimental effects, some cosmetic, some very serious mechanical hindrances, as your sanity literally is drained by being within this horrific vision and by facing off against N'Zoth's minions. You will have to retreat, but you'll do it taking with you the things that you've learned along the way.
Knowledge.
Which will enable you to build better defenses for your future trips. Now, we're going to be working with none other than Wrathion, son of Deathwing, who knows a thing or two about corruption, because his father, of course, was famously plunged into madness by N'Zoth's corruption. And what else does Wrathion know very well? Well, of course, legendary cloaks. And I
have to say, look at my little boy all grown up. He's such a handsome young man. He's not that tiny little whelpling we all used to know. He's a fully grown adult who's looking very dashing. And I think we're all happy to see our little favorite black prince all grown up and becoming his own man.
Wrathion is going to work with us to create a legendary cloak that will initially provide some sort of defense, some sort of shield against N'Zoth's sanity-draining attacks. This will enable us to venture deeper and deeper into these visions on our successive visits, earning greater rewards, also unlocking more of the mysteries behind N'Zoth's power. This cloak may actually also come in handy when you face off against N'Zoth himself further down the road. Now, in addition to the legendary cloaks, you'll also be taking fragments of N'Zoth's corruption out of these horrific visions with you. You can bring them to Mother and Magni to analyze and research, which will allow you and allow them to strengthen your defenses against N'Zoth's corruption and give you new tools to battle him and his minions. These will help your future visits into the horrific visions, allowing you to delve deeper, overcome greater threats, and weather the effects of his sanity-draining attacks.
Now, I like the way this looks. Without the lines or everything, it looks like a traditional talent tree, and I've really wanted them to make a comeback with the talent trees. Just because I know people say they're cookie cutter, but I loved them. You know, in classic WoW up to Cataclysm, I loved them because it really gave you a sense of real choice. Now we just have a thing where it's like 3 choices, and half the time they're really not that great. You're like, oh, well, I guess I'll take this one.
Ever since the Mage Tower in Legion, we've been looking for
a way to
provide a more satisfying solo progression experience, and a real challenge that you can work towards on your own.
Also, before we go, let me know below how long it took you to finish the Mage Tower. I mean, I got it the night before it disappeared. So, I busted my ass. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I finally beat it on my Demon Hunter. I was like, screw this. I'm not doing it with anyone else. This is because I wanted the Demon Hunter ones the most. They looked the coolest, and I wanted to do it. So, it took me till 3 o'clock in the morning. I think I started at 10, 11, and I just stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning to get it done. And each time I got further and further, and I was like, okay, this is what I have to do next. So let me know when you guys actually completed it. Did you completed it right away, or were you like me and you did like the last second?
Without needing a group of dungeon players or raiders or a battleground group at your side. And that's one of our goals really in crafting this Visions of N'Zoth feature and these horrific visions. This is an experience that you can go into entirely solo and work your way through, making progress further and further each time as you gain the benefit of Titan research, understand the tricks and the threats posed by N'Zoth's enemies, and eventually fully clear the vision at the end of your journey. Now, of course, you can also bring friends in with you. We've made this experience something that will scale seamlessly from 1 to 5 players, regardless of your role, and the rewards are equal, regardless of the size of your group. We want to let you experience this the way that best suits your playstyle. We can't wait to let players check this out in the PTR and hear from you what you think. And all of this is leading to a showdown with N'Zoth himself.
Big Daddy
And
N'Zoth.
that journey is going to take us into the sprawling raid that is the centerpiece of this content.
Ny'alotha, the Waking
Ny'alotha,
City.
a 12-boss raid that showcases the full splendor of the Black Empire. We're going to have to fight our way through the military might of N'Zoth's minions, disgusting spawning pools that have created the corruptions that we've seen across the years, the insectoid allies and minions of N'Zoth, those humans that have decided to embrace his cause of corruption, and much more. At the end of this journey awaits the old god himself. We're going to need all of our allies, all of our might, all that we have learned through our research, our work with Magni, and channeling the power of Azeroth herself in order to emerge triumphant and save Azeroth.
That looks amazing.
We also have a number of changes coming to our reward systems with Visions of N'Zoth. In addition to the legendary cloak that I mentioned earlier, that you can earn and upgrade to defend yourself against N'Zoth's assaults, we'll also have new levels for the Heart of Azeroth that come with it both passive benefits and an all-new essence slot. Now that slot can be filled by a number of new essences that you'll be able to earn through content such as the assaults on Uldum and Vale of Eternal Blossoms, delving into Horrific Visions, our new Mythic Plus season, PvP, the Ny'alotha raid, and more. And also, as we're seeing assaults by the minions of N'Zoth on Titan Forges around the world, we have to wonder, is it possible that these assaults on Titan Forges might somehow change the nature of Titan forging? This is something we are still discussing, and we are working on a plan we'll be able to roll out in the very near future, but we're excited about the idea of embracing the old god threat this time around to replace Titan forging with something a bit different, something a bit more twisted and corrupt, that also ideally works to preserve the value of item level and the correlation between doing difficult content and getting the best rewards.
So, since he's saying these Titan forges and everything are being messed up by the old gods and the minions, maybe it's gonna have like a void or old god forge where maybe it's like a level after or before that kind of like twists it to, you know, make it more sinister and voidish, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, that would be cool. Basically having your armor become corrupt, that'd be really cool.
Also coming in Visions of N'Zoth, at long last, are a couple of new allied races joining the Horde and the Alliance. First off, on the Horde side, in a shock to everyone I'm sure, we have the Volpera who will be joining the Horde. And if you've completed the Vol'dun level up questline and you're exalted with the Vol'dunai, you'll be able to jump in Visions of N'Zoth, complete a questline, and run around as a Volpera of your very own. Alpaca not included. Sorry. On the Alliance side,
we'll have to get Dolly and Dot.
The Mechanomes of Mechagon are joining their gnomish brethren on the Alliance. Grateful for the aid that's been rendered in overthrowing the despotic rule of King Mechagon, the Mechanomes will complete a questline for those of you who are exalted with Mechagon and can join the Alliance, and you too can have a gnome of your very own with a robot arm and or leg, your choice. I'm also happy to share that we're adding new Heritage Armor questlines.
So, I'm super excited that the Volpera are being added as allied races. We knew this was coming simply from the data mine stuff of their Brewfest tokens and being able to customize them in so many ways and them having emotes and stuff like that. We knew it was going to happen. We didn't know when. I was thinking it was going to be like next expansion, like, you know, pre-order the next expansion and get, you know, Volpera. But no, they're coming in 8.3, and 8.3 could be just a couple months away.
For the recently updated Goblin and Worgen, coming in Visions of N'Zoth. On the Goblin side, you'll be able to earn this perfectly suitable set, complete with explosives and rockets and everything else that makes a goblin's cold heart
Got the best
happy.
deals anyways.
And of course, for Worgen, what
Oh.
Worgen would be complete without a top hat that you can at long last use to express your true snooty inner self?
They're looking dapper, aren't they? Just, I love the gold trimmings, and the hat is, it's not too big, it's not too small. I mean, a lot of times when you have stuff with gold trimmings, it's always going to look so elegant and regal, and this just looks amazing, especially on the new models. I love the new female Worgen. People were like, oh, it looks too furry, like too much like a fanfic furry. I think it's adorable, so, I mean, the male's okay. I mean, we're so used to seeing Gen, so they just look more like Gen now.
Or just walk around as a wolf in a top hat. Who doesn't want to do that, really? Also coming with Visions of N'alotha is a complete overhaul of our auction house. This isn't just a UI reskin, but we actually redesigned and rebuilt the guts of the system.
It's about time.
To make it faster, more performant, and to get rid of those annoying single stacks that literally no one likes.
Yeah, really.
Recognize that there are hundreds of thousands of transactions happening across our auction houses on a regular basis, and we want to create a modern system that's smooth and easy to use.
That's really good for people who like to play the auction house. I do. I'm constantly putting stuff up on the auction house. Anytime I get a good item, it goes up in the auction house. I'll go there, check, cloth and to see how much it's selling for. So that's how I make a lot of my money, is playing the auction house. And a lot of the times it's annoying. People got single stacks, or hopefully this makes it to where people can't overprice things, because people will have an item that's like a green item at level 15 and they'll have it for like 15,000 gold, even though it's a very common item. And we're like, that's no. So hopefully it does clean things up a bit, makes it more accessible for people who are kind of afraid to use the auction house, because I know there's a lot of people who are afraid to use it because it's like, oh, it's too complicated, or I don't know what to do, or I don't know, what if it doesn't sell? It's like, of course it's not going to sell right away. I mean, you're going to have to wait, but it's going to sell eventually, and when it does, you're going to get a good amount of profit. So we're going to see, hopefully they show it.
In redesigning the auction house, we had a couple of major goals. First off, we wanted to make the whole thing smoother and more performant. This is something that we started working on right around the launch of Battle for Azeroth, when folks may remember the auction houses were clogged with tons and tons of single stacks, and searches and even purchasing or selling things might take several seconds or upwards of a minute in some unfortunate cases. We want to make sure that never happens again. Separately, we want to tailor the auction house functionality to the way that most people use it most frequently. And so, if you're just somebody who goes to the auction house periodically to buy consumables for your raid, or to sell some extra stacks of cloth or ore, we want to make that as smooth and as seamless a process as possible. The first major change that we've made is separating out stackable items.
I do like the smaller look of it, because if you do the auction house now, it takes up like the entire screen. So having a smaller screen, being able to see what's going on around you, still maybe pulling up some, information that you need on the other, in the space that you need, or they have left, because there's like all that space right up there. So being able to pull up your character and saying, oh, let me see if they have something for this, and it really helps.
To effectively create a separate commodities market, where you can just go list a stack of ore or cloth or potions, and people who are purchasing them can purchase portions of a stack. There's no more sense of there's one of this and two of this. There just happen to be 117 pieces of ore at this price, listed by 7 or 8 different buyers. If you want to buy them, you can just buy 15 pieces, you'll buy part of someone's stack, send them the gold. If you've listed a stack and only part of it sold, you'll get the gold for what's sold, and the remainder back in the mail to you. Also, we have the ability to favorite items and create a shopping list for yourself. So if you regularly forget the name of that specific cut of gem or that consumable, you can just have a checklist that you can quickly search for and buy on the go.
That
and on the selling side, you won't have to worry about stack sizes as you're listing your goods, and undercutting is much less of a factor in the market as it plays out in practice.
Okay.
Ultimately, we've just tried to offer improved functionality, a smoother interface, and faster responsiveness for people on all sides of the market, as well as some of the power users out there. We can't wait for people to check it out on the PTR, let us know what you think, and we'll be listening to see any further improvements we can make. So that's just some of what Visions of N'Zoth has to offer. Also coming in this content update is a heroic version of the Darkshore Warfront,
Yeah, I knew that
a
was
new
going to happen.
PvP season, Season 4 of Battle for Azeroth, with of course all new rewards, and a new mythic keystone affix that reflects N'Zoth's corrupting influence as his tendrils spread their way across Azeroth. With this corrupted affix active, when you go into a dungeon in Season 4, you'll see occasional Black Empire obelisks dotting the landscape. Interacting with one of these obelisks will pull you into an alternate world where we see N'Zoth's power ascendant and a powerful lieutenant of his stands guard. Defeating that lieutenant will return you to your regular reality, but will do so in whatever location you're currently standing when that mini-boss is defeated. This will enable some interesting skips that don't involve the use of Shroud of Concealment or Invisibility.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, of course, if you keep these minions alive, and you just decide to ignore them entirely, they may come and pay you a visit as you're fighting the final boss of the dungeon. You'll want to strategize very carefully as you approach dungeons with the corrupted affix in play during DFA Season 4. Now, you may be wondering when you're going to get to check all of this out. Well, I'm very happy to announce that we're working literally as I speak on getting this uploaded to our public test realm for the entire world, and we should have it live later today. You'll be able to jump in, check out assaults by N'Zoth's minions, venture into your very first horrific visions, and much more. And just after that, stay tuned for news regarding multiplayer raid testing and more. Thank you all so much. We'll be listening very closely to all of your feedback from the PTR. And just around the corner after that, see you at BlizzCon.
Okay, wow, that was quite a heaping mouthful and a hefty portion to consume, but I am really excited for what's going to be happening. I mean, the Volpera, the allied races, we knew that was coming. Darkshore having heroic, we knew that was coming. Didn't think that we would be seeing N'Zoth so soon. I figured that would be like maybe next expansion, especially since he took Azshara. I was like, okay, surely we're not gonna face her in, you know, this patch and then go next patch and kill her off. And I thought it was gonna be like a Gul'dan kind of thing where they escape and the next expansion you finally take them out. Hopefully we don't actually kill her, because she's been, you know, gone for so long, and she's finally introduced or reintroduced into Battle for Azeroth, and then we're going to kill her. I certainly hope that doesn't happen. I hope, you know, she kind of sees the error of her ways. I mean, normally I don't mind killing something, but I think having her on our side would definitely be helpful, especially in a sense of if N'Zoth betrayed her, then she's going to want her revenge. She's too prideful, and she's going to want her revenge, and having an ally like her against him definitely going to help.
And much more.
Yeah, we can see Azshara right there. So it looks like they're kind of twisting and warping her, but I love, that's awesome. Like I said, it's very reminiscent of the classic tree system, which I think gives more options and you know, choice, and a lot of, where's that picture of the outside? Just, yeah, the outside where you can, I mean, look at that. That's amazing. Like, you can see tendrils and stuff and ragged, jagged mountains in the back. And I mean, when we saw the Black Empire, I thought it was going to be like skyscraping type things where everything was so big and we would just be these little insignificant specks. Especially after Ny'alotha saying like these, what is it, the spires or whatever, sacrifice spires, and Ny'alotha pale in, this pales in comparison to those in the Black Empire. So I was expecting these huge obelisks and sacrificial spires and this and that, but everything's relatively normal sized. Um, I mean, it's fine, but I was expecting something huge and grand and over the top because it's the Black Empire. This is kind of like Relay in, you know, um, Cthulhu mythos. So this warped city full of mad things. I expected it to be over the top, and you can kind of see over the top in the back, but it's always subject to change. Okay, so I've wanted to make one since we met them. Yeah, let me know below if you're making a Volpera. If so, what's it going to be? I mean, what are they going to be able to do? Are they going to be mages? Are they going to be able to, I mean, rogues probably, obvious. Hunters, warriors maybe, but I see them maybe wearing cloth and leather. So they might just be able to be rogue, mage, probably Death Knight, a little undead Volpera. But yeah, I'm really excited. And Ian looking sexy as hell as always. But yeah, what do you guys think? I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. We finally know who the final boss is. We know where we're going. We hopefully figure out at the end of that raid, we find out what the next expansion is going to be. I mean, we're going to find out at BlizzCon, but hopefully it's like all the other expansions where it sets up for that next expansion. But let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.